And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Wednesday, November 4th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. We've got somewhat of a frosty morning this morning. The sun is shining. It's a little bit warmer than it's been yesterday and the day before. And we're just happy to be here on a Wednesday morning and talk about Cedar Stone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. And believe it or not, we've got Robert McDonald with us this morning to do the commercial, and good morning to you.
Coleman, good morning. I miss you guys. I miss all my friends, so it's great to be back with you.
Well, I have asked your father, Bob McDonald, about how's Robert doing. Well, he's fine. Everything's fine in Donaldson. One of these days I'll get him back up here. Well, it's today.
Today's that day, and happy to be here.
It's always good to see you, and I have, now this is a compliment, but I have told Bob probably more than once, you do remind me in some ways of your grandfather, Willie.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. Yes,
and
sir.
Willie McDonald, well known in the banking industry for all these years. He finally retired, about a year ago?
Coleman, it's amazing. I talked to him actually yesterday. I'll be seeing him on Friday, but he retired October 31 of last year. So it's been just a little over a year now.
Right.
He struggled with it at first, but I think he's finally enjoying some relaxation time.
Well, I hope so. And, of course, I always remember what he said. He didn't remember everybody he made a loan to, but he remembered the ones that didn't pay him.
That's right. So everybody will come up to him. Coleman's such a funny story, and he's met so many people over his life and career, and he people feel bad you don't remember me. So that's a good thing. That means you paid me back. And so I love when he tells that story.
Right. Well, there of course are and have been, if not from the very beginning, almost from the very beginning, 3 branches of Cedar Stone Bank: Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, and of course when you started out in Donaldson, you were over there at the former Gideon's building.
That's correct.
I believe for a while. Then you built your own place there at a wonderful location.
It really is, Coleman. Beautiful location right there at the intersection of Donaldson Pike and Lebanon Pike, and that visibility is just incredible. And we've really seen that over. It's hard to believe, close to 3 or 4 years now we've been in that building, and but it's just a wonderful location, and we're very proud of it.
Well, I've told this story too. Once I was on the train going to Nashville, and I just looked over there as we passed Donaldson Pike there. Looked over there, Cedar Stone Bank.
That's right.
See it from the railroad.
You can see it from the railroad in the skies. We have a lot of air traffic over us all day long, so you can see us right there.
Have you ever worked in the other offices, or you know about them? And we really got 3 different communities.
We do
here. Donaldson's a little bit different from Mount Juliet and Lebanon, and you know all about Donaldson.
Know all about Donaldson and Davidson County, of course. We are there, but of course we love each of our communities, but they are different, very much so. But Davidson County, we've seen a lot of growth over these last couple of years. Before this thing, the virus hit in March, Davidson County was exploding in Nashville, and that growth naturally, even as Lebanon and Mount Juliet, Wilson County has seen and benefited from growth and people moving in. But we've really seen that over the past couple of years as it's grown and benefited from that with that location that we have.
And Donaldson has somewhat of an identity of its own.
It does.
It's part of Metro Nashville, of course, but if you say you're from Donaldson, you have an identity there.
People know Donaldson. People know that name. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I remember a football game years ago. The Clinic Bowl. Donaldson whipped Lebanon 28-0, and everybody had said Lebanon's a favorite.
Right.
That's why you play them.
That's exactly right. So Donaldson really is an identity. Willie moved there back in the early '50s, and people identify themselves with that Donaldson area. So it's a great place to be.
Well, it's a growing area too,
isn't
it? And I guess you're making all kind of loans there.
We are. It's growing, and loans and checking accounts. That free checking account that Bob wants us to talk about. But no, we really have grown a lot in the past 2 or 3 years there in Donaldson. It's been wonderful.
Well, Robert, I do know. Speaking of that free checking account, more banks may be going to this now. I don't keep up with that a lot. But it used to be you didn't always have free checking. Most of the time there was a $5, $6, $10 fee to just have a check.
Some type of fee, and based on your activity in your account, if you meet certain criteria. But at Cedar Stone Bank, no minimum balance is required. It's free, totally free. You can use any ATM worldwide. Bob likes to say that Cedar Stone Bank's international because we do not charge that foreign ATM fee that can sometimes now cost in excess of $4 or $5. So you can access your money free of charge if you're not around one of our offices. So free checking account means free at Cedar Stone Bank.
Well, it really does. And with no strings attached, it's just a great way to get started. And it is, to me, it is such an attractive tool or whatever product for the beginner.
Sure.
I mean, if you just getting started out and you can bank free, why would you pay, even if it's only $5 a month, why would you pay that when you can get free checking?
And we've seen more and more, Coleman, briefly here, that more parents are bringing their kids in, 15, 16 years old, getting a checking account. Of course, the parents are on that account, but teaching them how to manage the money. And that free checking account allows them to do that, even if not a lot of money is there.
Well, of course, lending money is what is pretty much what it's all about as far as the bank making money, and interest rates are about as low as they
are.
We think they're as low as they can go.
That's right.
And then they go lower. But if you need to borrow money, it's a great time.
It's a great time to do it. Interest rates are at really historic lows, and we forecast that to remain that way for some time. So it's a great time to refinance your home, borrow some money off the equity in your home to make some renovations during this time. So again, a great time to borrow money.
And of course, we've been talking about this a lot, and hopefully people will take advantage of it. And we've about run out of time here, but certainly good to see you. And
yes, sir.
Glad you're doing well, and that you can still know the way up here.
Well, Coleman, like I told you a moment ago before we got on air, I almost missed my turn. It's been so long, so I'm going to make sure I get up here on a more consistent basis.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us today. Robert McDonald, and he, of course, is the branch manager at the Donaldson office of Wilson Bank and Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. I'm sorry. It was a long night.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. Thank you so much, Robert McDonald. We are 10 and a half after the hour. I'm going to go to the telephone here because this morning is the first Wednesday of the month, and we have Shelley Barnes, who is going to be doing our UT Extension Office information for us today. And Shelley, are you there?
I am. Good morning, Coleman.
Good morning. It is very good to hear your voice and to have you with us this morning. And it's been a while since you've been on, I believe. So, how's it going?
Yes. We take turns in the office, and so it's been a few months since I've been there to see you, and doing good. We're still here.
Well, did you stay up late last night?
I did. Although, y'all got done before 10, so it really wasn't that late.
Well, we're going to be on the second half this morning, kind of going over the election returns, a summary of all of that last night. But I know you've got other things to talk about, and of course, we had Lucas Holman was here last month, and I think that's the first month that Miss Ruth has been gone. She retired end of something like the end of September, if my memory is right here. And so any news regarding that yet?
No, not yet. We'll, be able to open up her ag agent position soon and be able to hire someone hopefully early next year. To be able to have someone working with the farmers and helping them with their needs. So we know that that's extremely important, and we've got to find the right person to be able to fill those big shoes that she left.
Well, you're still doing what you've been doing, I take it, pretty much.
Yes, still the family consumer science agent, and still, working really hard to meet needs. And we have a virtual Seasons Eatings with Diabetes class coming up. I wanted to tell everybody about. This is a really great opportunity. If you have diabetes or pre-diabetic, the holidays sometimes can be really hard because it's filled with sweet treats, and it's really tempting, and then we get off balance. And so this class is coming up in November, and it'll be a great way to kind of keep in mind that we've got to make sure that we're doing the right things to manage our diabetes.
Now, is this a one-time thing?
It's 2 sessions.
Okay.
The first session is on November 17th, and the second is November 19th. But it's all virtual.
Uh-huh.
we're still being safe and limiting our groups, and so we're trying to provide alternative ways for people to learn and grow. Virtual is the next best thing, I guess. So,
well, I'm wondering, is there any cost for this?
No, this is a totally free class. Very, very good information, totally free. If you're interested, you can give us a call at the office, 615-444-9584. Send me an email at sphill24@utk.edu, and I can send over the registration link. No cost, totally free.
All right, how you said two days, and they're fairly close together here. But give us just a little description. How long, especially that we're talking about? How long will you be at each time?
Yeah, it's from 10 to 11, so it's just going to be like an hour-long class.
Oh, okay.
Each one is going to be different, and we're going to cover different types of diabetes, blood sugar management tips, physical activity ideas, and then one thing that's really popular is recipe modifications, because I know a lot of people that do have diabetes, and they have that sweet tooth, and it's like they're constantly wanting to find something that can kind of fill that void of what they can't have. And so modifying our recipes so that they are healthier for diabetics is really important. And so I think that'll be a popular part of the class.
Well, since you're doing this virtually, is there any limit to how many people can be accommodated?
No, we don't have any limit. The sky's the limit, Coleman.
The sky's the limit. Well,
Yeah.
I would think that people who might have the problem, or even suspect that they might have the problem, would want to pay close attention here. A lot to be learned, and it's only an hour long, so most of us can spare an hour during the day to take time out for something like this. I think so.
I think so, and I think it'd be a good opportunity. And I do a lot of work with Charles Denny. A lot of people around Lebanon know him as Chuck Denny, and he's our marketing and communications guy with UT, and he has diabetes. And we did a program a few weeks back, and he was saying that, if people who don't have diabetes ate like they did, we'd all be a lot healthier. And I agree with that. I think that's probably an important point to take away. If we kind of counted our calories and we made sure that we weren't eating a ton of sugars and carbs, we would probably all be healthier in the long run.
And by paying attention and learning from these 1 hour sessions, the 2 1 hour sessions here that's available, and if people will follow the instructions they're given here, they can certainly improve their lifestyle, their problem with diabetes, this sort of thing.
Yes. Yes, I think so.
All right. Okay, Shelley Barnes is here. Shelley, it's time for us to take a break, so you hold on there. And we're going to do this break and come back with more on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental Redmax. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. There's still quite a bit of traffic volume trying to get in right now from Rutherford County from the earlier problems that we had out there near Walden Road on 24 West. Just heavy traffic. It flooded traffic over onto Murfreesboro Pike inbound this morning out of Rutherford County into Davidson County. Still working a wreck 24 eastbound near Bell Road. Again, that's eastbound. The heaviest flow is going westbound. Hey, sleep with the sharks in a grown-up atmosphere at Ripley's Aquarium in the Smokies, December 26th and 27th. Check it out, ripleysAquarium.com. I'm Commander Chug, your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonough with Cedarstone Bank. We know there are times when financial circumstances can be complicated for families and businesses, but we do not believe the solutions need to be. That's why for 15 years we've been delivering simple banking to our customers while still offering all services and products. We're thankful for our customers and the communities that we serve. If you don't bank with us, it would be our pleasure to visit with you and talk about how simple banking is simply better.
Cedarstone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and we thank Shelley Barnes for being with us this morning. She's talking with us on the phone, the UT Extension Office. What is your actual title again, Shelley?
Okay, so my current title is Family and Consumer Sciences Extension Agent. So if you think way back when we used to call it home ec, I'm the home ec agent. Or the home economist, or whatever you want to call me. I answer to pretty much anything. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just basically teaching people about their families and their homes and helping people learn how to live healthier lifestyles. So, anything, Coleman.
What you do though, you brush up on all these things because you are in some ways like a school teacher, a lecturer, or whatever. So you got to know what you're talking about, and you love to talk. You do a good job, but you're able to share a lot of good information with people, and that's what your job's all about, I guess.
It is. We say that extension agents, we are educators, and our classroom is the community.
Uh-huh.
It can look a lot of different ways. We could actually be in the classroom. Our 4-H agents, when we're able to, are able to go into the schools, and they work with children in the classroom. We have a lot of activities at the Ag Center. Our ag agents go on farms and are talking to people out in pasture. So the community really is our classroom, and we do educate the public. And that's really the mission of Extension, is just to make people's lives better.
And the people that you associate with, that you work with, I mean, there's a pretty good age range there. I mean, they're not all elderly, and they're not all young. Don't you have a pretty good mixture?
Yes, I will be 40 next year. I cannot believe I just said that on the radio. I guess out of the extension agents in our office now that Miss Ruth retired, I hope she's listening, I guess I'm the oldest.
Oh, wow.
And then the youngest would be in early, like mid-20s. So, but now I remember a day when I was pretty young, because I come straight out of college to Wilson County to work for Extension. So I've been here for a few minutes.
Well, I know that 2020 has been a year of adaptation, and we had to change the way we do some things. We had to adapt to what was thrown us, and in particular, the coronavirus is what I'm talking about, with social distancing, with people. Some people almost afraid to even get out of their homes, and with the number of deaths that we've had with this, I mean, you can't blame them. None of us want this, and some people have suffered greatly. Others, it's not been much worse than a cold, maybe, but you don't know. And I know that you've got I think a couple of children at home. You want to take something home to them, so you have to be careful. But at least we've got the internet, we've got computers, we've got a way to connect without being right there with somebody. And haven't you done an awful lot of that?
Yes, Coleman, I have. And when we're thinking about the coronavirus, not that I'm any type of expert on that, but I think that people who have chronic conditions, like Johnny and we're kind of worried about our parents because they have some health problems. And, normally in Extension, we're exposed with so many different people, because you do one program and then you put that bag down and you pick up your other bag and you go to another program, and so we have been pretty careful. And then thinking about the groups that I work with, primarily FCE, most of them are older, and so we haven't been meeting with them. I think picking up the old phone call, the telephone, and making, phone calls. I've spent a lot of my time doing that, just checking on people. And, I'm real concerned, and I know that you go to the Senior Citizen Center, and I'm real concerned about some of our seniors that are home by themselves, maybe widows, widowers. We really need to be thinking about our mental health. We really need to be thinking about, staying connected and calling each other. And we have done a lot of virtual opportunities, but not everybody has internet, and that's an issue. Of course, in our county, more people have internet than other counties, so we are blessed in that respect. But I think making sure that we're connected with each other is really, really important. Go check on a neighbor. So you can do that socially distant. Just knock on the door, make sure they're still in there and they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've seen that. There's been a lot of, you're right, 2020 has been a strange year. There's been a lot of stuff happening. But I have also seen a lot of people caring about other people, which brings me to my next topic, if that's okay with you.
Yes. What's
Every
that?
year, our office, this will be our 15th year, but every year our office and the groups that we work with have kind of adopted Cedar Cross Men's Home. And we have come together for this service project, and we gather up supplies that they need, and then we take a truckload of supplies over there in December, and they are able to use some of these for Christmas gifts for the men, and then throughout the rest of the year. And so if anybody wants to help us, we would love to have help. Things that we need are like men's disposable razors, bath soap, chapstick, men's deodorant, washcloths and shampoo, stuff like that is what we're looking for. And this is something that our FC or home demonstration clubs do along with 4-H and master gardeners.
Well,
So it's just a really good way to give back.
and you said you've been doing this for 15 years?
This will be our 15th year, yes.
Okay, done it for 14. This will be the 15th. So I take it that a lot of people have, as we say, stepped up to the plate here. A lot of people have come forward and helped you in this endeavor.
Yes, they do every year. Primarily these groups, but we always advertise it to the public too. If you're shopping and you're, see some razors, you can pick up a few packs and drop them off at the extension office. And we have a place in our foyer where people can just drop them off. They don't have to come in and, see everybody. If they don't want to, they can just drop them off in the foyer area.
Okay, is that it on that one? You got another project or?
That's all I was going to talk about today. But we can talk about other things.
Well, let's talk about your children for a minute here.
Okay, great. Her birthday is tomorrow. She will be 6.
6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And Davis keeps asking when his birthday is. It's not till May, so he's still 3 for quite a long time.
So you're going to have 6 tomorrow, and you have the little boy is 3 years old.
I do, yes.
Well, that is great. And your husband, Johnny, who used to work here.
He did. He was the 4-H agent here for about 10 years, or 8 years maybe.
And
he's in DeKalb County now.
DeKalb County. Well, that's interesting in itself. That how long you been here now, Shelley?
I've been here it'll be 15 years in February.
Wow. And Johnny was here for 10, and he's been in DeKalb County for a while. You're really a UT Extension family.
We are. Let me tell you, Coleman, we met in 4-H when we were in high school. I'm originally from Cannon, and he's originally from DeKalb. And we were sweet on each other then. And he went to UT in Knoxville, and I went to MTSU. And then when I was ready to find a job, I started looking for places that was open. And Wilson County had a position open. So what do? You look at the staff to see if you know anybody. And I looked, and Johnny was working here, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" So I called him, and I came, and I met with him. I met with the staff, and applied and everything. And it took about 8 months, and then I guess a couple years, and then we were engaged and married. So
okay.
it's an extension love story, is what it is, a 4-H romance.
Yeah, I think that's a great love story. Shelley, in the last couple of minutes here, why don't you just mention again this workshop, this lecture that you're having on diabetes, because some people might have missed that at first, and that is something that we really, there's a lot of people that are affected with diabetes.
Yeah, so towards the end of this month, we're having a seasonal eatings with diabetes for the holidays workshop, and it's really important for people who have diabetes or are pre-diabetic. Also, it could be for people that are caring for others that have diabetes or are pre-diabetic, and it is on 2 days, and it's from 10 to 11. Those days are November 17th and November 19th. It's going to be online, so on Zoom, and if you contact me, it's my cell phone number, 615-828-7490. I can send you the registration link. We're going to teach you all about diabetes and physical activity ideas. One fun component, though, that we think that people will really be interested in are those recipe modifications that we can do to still get that sweetness, but for it to be healthier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a great way to kind of get through the holiday season. And then in December, and I didn't tell you about that yet, Coleman, but in December we're going to offer a workshop with the live hospice. Don't have a lot of the details yet, but it's going to be getting through those winter blues.
All right.
More information coming on that.
All right. Well, you've got a lot going for us here, and we appreciate your visit by phone this morning. Have a good one. We'll talk with you next time, okay? Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. That is Shelley Barnes from the UT Extension Office, and that is part one of Coleman & Company. We've got more coming up, so we hope you'll keep it here, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and that regular oil change, $24.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, $16.73 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Trying to work this wreck here on 24 westbound at Bell Road. It's just crazy enough this morning trying to get out of Rutherford County. That's actually been our biggest problem this morning is 24 westbound trying to get out of Rutherford County into Davidson County, and it's still a problem. Hey, sleep with the sharks in a grown-up atmosphere at Ripley's Aquarium in the Smokies, December 26 and 27. Check it out at ripleysAquarium.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Tenova Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
Hey, this is State Senator Mark Pody. With everything that's going on, I just want to encourage everybody to please be safe and use common sense as the state begins to reopen. We need to get our economy going again. If you have any underlying pre-existing health conditions or issues, or if you're age 60 or older, you need to use the precautions that you feel are needed. Be patient when you go into your local businesses, and remember, we're all in this together. If y'all need any kind of service, please give me a call. This is Mark Pody.
The 2020 Titans have all grown up together. They've had a taste of success in the playoffs, and they're back with Derrick Henry.
Henry 20, Henry 10.
Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Tannehill keeping around right end, driving, he's in.
A stout defense.
Titan ball.
And a head coach in Mike Vrabel who's ready to lead them.
Brought to you by Steamlow Plumbing and the Jewelers.
LHS, Cumberland University, and the Tennessee Titans. The winning teams are on WANT 98.9.
Today will be an absolutely beautiful day weather-wise. Skies this afternoon will be mostly sunny with highs in the upper 60s. On Thursday, we'll have plenty of sunshine and highs reaching the upper 60s once again. For Friday, highs will climb into the low 70s with bright sunny skies. This weekend's forecast looks very nice. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman & Company, welcome to part two. It is a Wednesday, and Philip Evans joins us to talk about absolute rental and supply, the phone number there is 615-443-RENT. If you don't get anything else out of what we say this morning, take that, because you're going to need it when you want to rent equipment. He's been doing this for 19 years, Absolute Rental Supply at 1325 West Main. Good morning.
Morning, Coleman.
It's good to see you. Good to have you with us. And you have, we talked about it Monday when we were talking about Kubota. They're in a new location. Absolute Rental is still where you've been, but you got a little more room.
Exactly. Yeah, we've moved everything this past weekend down, moved the Kubota dealership down to the new location at 1506 West Main, and that's looking great. And it's going to be I think we're going to get a lot of visibility, a lot of traffic out of that. But yes, Absolute Rental and the Exmark sales is still at 1325 West Main Street. We've been extremely busy. Everything's going on. You know, this good weather. We always talk about good, consistent, dry weather is always good for the rental business. So it always keeps everybody hopping. But yeah, we're wide open. A lot going on.
Well, it is a change, and it's a good change. I mean, the only difference is if they're not both going to be at the same location, but other than that, I think the same great service. You got the same people, and you just spread out a little bit more. But it has been two different businesses all along.
It has, and like I said, what it allows us to do is when, and we've talked about this several times, when all of the Kubota and Exmark inventory is in and the rental equipment's there, a lot of times we were really cramped on space. And this just gave us an opportunity to get out and be able to expand and better display our equipment.
Right. Well, as we've said so many times, you go to your website and see what all is available, absoluterental.com. But if you want to rent something, you use that phone number we give you all the time, 615-443-RENT, R-E-N-T. And it's always good. We talk about everything, but some things we kind of emphasize, and that is, if you know you want something, say next week, go ahead and speak for it. Reserve it this week. That helps everybody.
Exactly, it really does. It helps us schedule our equipment. It ensures you get the piece of equipment when you want it. And you know, we always cut up about the phone number on and on, but it is so important for us to find out what you're doing with the piece of equipment to make sure it's the right piece of equipment, and that way you get your job done in an efficient manner, and we don't get our equipment damaged. And so that's the reason we ask a lot of questions, because it is our goal. We want to make sure you get the job done most efficiently you can. And so that's the reason we ask so many questions. And we've talked about it before. Some people get aggravated because we ask a lot of questions, but there's a reason for it.
Right.
So
and another service that you offer, which is really good, I think, is in a couple of ways. But the fact that you will deliver an item and then come and pick it up. Now, there's a nominal charge for that.
Yeah.
But it can save time. It can help somebody tremendously.
Oh, definitely. For the homeowners especially that may not have the proper size vehicle, and even for the contractors who is just more efficient to pay us the fee to bring it and pick it up than have their guys come and get it and so forth. But, you know, the weather is great right now. The dirt moving equipment, the mini excavators, the skid steers, the dozers, all that stuff is out right now. So I hope we continue with this good weather.
Well, it looks good for the rest of this week.
It does.
It's fall, of course, but this is looks like we got a good window here before winter will set in, and sometimes winters are not too bad here anyway.
Oh, exactly.
So we're going to be positive this morning. But you've got it. Everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers. And that's what I like. You're always listening to your customers. If there's another new product comes along or a new gadget that's going to help, I mean, you're ready to go get one or two.
We do. We try to keep up with technology and all the newest trends and that. And there again, that's one of those things with the advantage of renting. We're going to be forced due to competition and innovation to make sure we keep the latest and greatest equipment there. And so a lot of times people buy something, 2-3 years later, it's outdated. we're going to change that equipment. We may buy it new and then turn around and rotate our equipment, but we're going to try to make sure we keep the most innovative equipment there is.
And you do sell what you rent. I know that if you you rent an item, well, I'd really like to have this. So it's for sale.
We do a lot of that. It's surprising to a lot of people how much we do sell. But there again, if a customer comes up, they've decided, hey, we've rented this several times. We like the way it performs. We like the way it runs. We see we have a need for that in our business. Will you price it to me? Sure, I will. And like I say, it just helps me keep that fleet fresh.
Yeah. So. Anything else you got for us this morning?
No, just give us a call. Like I say, we're busy right now, so do call ahead. Make sure you get a reservation, and just look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, you've been doing it for 19 years and still going strong there at 1325 West Main Absolute Rental and Supply. Philip Etherly, 615-443-RENT. Thank you so much. See you next Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
All right, we are 21 and a half before the hour, and I pretty much promised, I don't know how much I advertised this, but I was going to do election recap this morning. We have a couple of recordings from last night that we'll get to later on, but it was quite a night even here locally, and I'm going to start out with how it all came about. As best we can here this morning. We had the total ballots cast, according to information from the Election Commission office, 74,548, and of those, there was 57,662 early voting and 4,991, almost 5,000 absentee votes. And we actually got this in 3 waves last night. We got the early voting, then we got the rest of the voting, those who had voted yesterday, and then the absentees were counted. And so when it all came in, of course, we had President Trump carrying Wilson County overwhelmingly, and for some reason I think my printout missed those this morning, but it was a big win in Wilson County for President Trump over former Vice President Joe Biden. In the race for Senate to fill the seat vacated by Senator Lamar Alexander, Bill Haggerty carried Wilson County with 50,455 votes, Marquita Bradshaw 20,004, and there were a number of other candidates, none of whom got even 1,000 votes in that one. For the House of Representatives, District 6, John Rose, the incumbent in Wilson County, had 49,759. Christopher Martin Finley got 19,715, and Christopher B. Mundy was 1,744 votes. Clark Boyd was running for State House of Representatives, District 46, and unopposed, received 22,281. In District 57, Susan Lynn did have opposition, but won overwhelmingly, Susan Lynn receiving 31,155 votes, and Tom Sonic 13,697. I will move over to the city of Mount Juliet. We'll get to our mayor's race a little bit later here, and I got a reason for that. But anyway, for Mount Juliet, James Manis, who was a member of the Board of Commissioners, ran for mayor and defeated Dan Walker overwhelmingly. Manis had 12,847 votes, Dan Walker 5,217. In District 1 in Mount Juliet, incumbent Ray Justice returns to that office, receiving 2,610 votes, and his opponent Vince King had 1,314. For District 3 Commissioner, Scott Hefner was the winner there, winning over incumbent Art Giles. Hefner received 2,604 votes, and Art Giles 2,012. In District 4 in Mount Juliet, the incumbent, Jennifer Mullally, had 2,323 votes. In second place was Jared Bullock. I've forgotten how to pronounce his name. I hope one of them is right. He got 2,114 votes, and Jim Bradshaw received 1,179. So Jennifer Mullally continues to represent District 4. on the Board of Commissioners. In Watertown, Mayor Mike Jennings was running unopposed, received 535 votes. There were 4 people competing for 3 alderman seats, and that went as follows. Brandy Holcomb, an incumbent alderman, had 409 votes. Laura Lee Cromer had 375, and Jim Mahoney 349. So they will represent the city of Watertown in the coming and will be installed later on and for the next 4 years. And Hal Roberts, an incumbent, finished 4th with 299, so he will not be a part of that anymore. In Lebanon, we had Rick Bell winning. We're going to be hearing from him and from Bernie Ash. What they told us last night, we'll replay that a little bit later. Let me give the totals here. We'll go to a break and come back and hear more here. But as far as the mayor's race, Rick Bell had 7,863 votes. Bernie Ash, 5,604. And the total that Rick Bell received was over 50%, so we don't have a runoff. Rob Sesternino in third place with 1,687 votes, and John DeMoore with 275. Joey Carmack, 2,016 votes unopposed for Alderman Ward 1. Alderman Ward 5, Tick Bryan, 1,842 votes. He also was unopposed. And in Ward 2, Fred Burton was reelected. Fred Burton with 422 votes. Lisa Noble, 379. Leon Love with 240. And I think that pretty much takes care of the returns that we had last night. We'll take a break here, and when we come back, we'll have more about last night. So we hope you'll stay with us here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And at 7:44, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford and the Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still very heavy trying to get out of Rutherford County into Davidson County here on 24 westbound. They managed to move that right to the side on 24 westbound here at Bell Road. It's pretty busy coming out of Kingston Springs or through Kingston Springs from an earlier wreck out there on 40 eastbound. Checking a wreck 40 east now near Fessler's. Traffic's heavy, of course, westbound coming past Donaldson Pike there through Hermitage and Donaldson. Sleep with the Sharks in a grown-up atmosphere at Ripley's Aquarium in the Smokies, December 26th and 27th. Check it out, ripleysAquarium.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
It's that time of year full of pumpkin spice and cool nights, and you know what that means. It's time for the Mill at Christmas. Vendors galore at the historic Mill at Lebanon. Friday, November 6th, Sip and Shop. Doors open at 5 p.m. and tickets available at the door. Saturday, November 7th, Family Fun Day. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free for all to attend. Santa arrives at noon. Join us at the Mill at Christmas, November 6th and 7th at the Mill at Lebanon. Facebook, Happenings at the Mill.
And we continue Coleman and Company here for a Wednesday morning in part 2. We're going over last night's election returns. And in the city of Lebanon, we're going to have a new mayor. Rick Bell won. Bernie Ash was here last night. We're going to listen to part of what he had to say. And again, if you haven't heard, Rick Bell received 7,863 votes. Bernie Ash in second place with 5,604. Rob Sesternino, 1,687. John DeMoore with 275. But the total that Rick Bell received was over 50%, so we don't have a runoff. And last night we did talk with Lebanon Mayor Bernie Ash. Let's listen to some of that. We do have Lebanon Mayor Bernie Ash, who has joined us. And Mayor, it's not the outcome you had hoped for, but I appreciate you coming out and talking with us.
It's always good to talk to you. It is not the outcome I hoped for, but it is the outcome. And I think I've told you before, I agreed with the voters when they put me in, so I'm going to agree with them when they voted me out this time. I would like to take a minute, if Rick is listening, I feel sure he is. I tried to call you, but I've lost your phone number. Congratulations, and you will do a fine job for the city.
Well, I know you. We talked many times after you come out here on the Wednesday after the city council meeting, and we'll talk when we get through. And sometimes rather lengthy. You said not too long ago you dreaded to have a runoff.
I did. I did.
And I know if you were going to lose the runoff, you'd rather lose now than have to go through that and lose. If you could go through a runoff and win, that might be different.
Yeah, somebody could guarantee that, I'd be happy to do it. but in this case, I don't think it's going to change anything, and I'm happy to have it over and done with, and to move on with things.
But you really had good showing here. Rick did outpolled you here, but I mean you got 5,604 votes.
Yeah.
That's still quite a compliment, really.
That's if I'm remembering correctly, that's pretty much the same vote I had the last election. Very, very close. I may have lost a few because of the property tax, but I think I maintained most of my base, which I'm happy for, and thank those people very much.
Yeah. Well, you work hard at something like this, and then the people speak, and like you say,
that's right.
That's the way it is.
Before we went on the air tonight, Coleman and I were talking. We both live in Lebanon. And I've said this, I mean, I don't like paying taxes any more than the next person.
Absolutely.
But for what you pay for the city of Lebanon property tax,
yeah,
I think you get a great deal for your money. You get garbage pickup every week. You got the police and the fire protection. You got the roads department, the gas department to take care of things. The brush pickup that goes along with it, not to mention all the other amenities, the Floyd Center and the parks that you have. And I mean, you could go on and on. Sam Crutcher out there at the cemetery, I spend a lot of time out there. Sam and his crew do a great job. And I know you caught some heat that maybe about the delay in getting the storm damage done, but you know, I didn't have any direct damage. It was close to us out there, but you know, your primary thing is getting people's power back on, their water back on, their ditches cleaned out, so there's not any water damage. So.
I mentioned before the delay with the cemetery was enabling us to get the FEMA money to reimburse us, and also the Tennessee Historical Commission. We had to abide by some guidelines they set up. Just a minute about the taxes. We are still lower than most of the cities around us. I think we talked about that a little this morning. Springfield, Columbia, Gallatin, Murfreesboro, Laverne, Smyrna. Our tax rate is still lower. Plus, we don't charge for a garbage fee, and all of those either charge for a garbage fee or don't have one. I knew I've been in politics for 22 years now, and you don't. If you want to get elected, you don't raise property taxes in an election year. I understood that. I'm going to stand by my guns and say I think they did the right thing. I think it will benefit the new administration, and
you really felt like you just about had to do this to keep on with the way we do things.
Well, see, we came out of the recession where the government had not shut down, but almost. We had a hiring freeze. We stopped a lot of projects, and this was back before me. But Mayor Craighead did the right thing during the recession to keep us on track during that. Now that we.
All right, we'll close out there. That was Lebanon Mayor Bernie Ashe last night, his concessions talk here. Of course, again, if you haven't heard, Rick Bell won the mayorship of Lebanon, 7,863 votes. Bernie Ashe second with 5,604. There won't be a runoff. Sesternino, 1,687. John DeMoore, 275. Fred Burton reelected alderman for Ward 2. Joey Carmack and Tick Bryan were reelected with no opposition. election. We did hear from Rick Bell last night, and we're going to listen now to some of what Rick Bell, the winner in the mayor's race, had to say last night here on our election coverage.
Certainly happy to have Rick Bell join us now, who has won the mayor's race today. And Rick, good evening and welcome.
Well, thank you for having me again, Coleman.
Just going over the totals here. We have the totals that we gave them out without the absentees, and then we got all of that in. And actually, there were a few more absentees than we kind of had thought, Mayor.
I thought you were going to fire me. I thought I was getting fired.
Well, anyway, but Rick Bell has 7,863 votes, Bernie Ash 5,604, Rob Sesternino 1,687, and John DeMoore 275. There were 82 write-ins and 15,511 votes cast. Your 7,863 is more than 50%. So I know you're pleased with that.
Well, I'm humbled, actually, to go out all these months and work the way we did. And we've met a lot of people here in the city, and it's just it's a special feeling to know that the people of Lebanon believed in me and believed in our message, and I believe in them, and I'm ready to get to work. I told everybody that as mayor, I would work hard, and I'm ready to start that.
You're surely going to have a few days of rest.
Well, actually, I teach a class at 8 o'clock in the morning, so so I have a semester to finish at Cumberland before I can do anything. But yeah, we've worked hard, and there's a lot of people I need to thank. And first of all, I want to thank my wife Nicole for being there along the way. She's walked the neighborhoods just like I have, and she's worked hard just like I have, and I want to thank everybody who has supported me in many different ways, volunteers, people who hosted events for us, people who donated money to our campaign. That was really special to know that they were willing to do that. But I also want to thank my family, my parents, Charles and Lane Bell. They've been with me all the way with this. My brother Jack, his wife Malia, and their sons Weston and Bronson. I know they've all worked hard in this as well. And my wife Nicole, her family too. Her mom Betty, she was out today at Lebanon High School, waving at voters going in. And one thing that's very special tonight was my stepdaughter Isabella. She came in from college for election day, and that was really neat. But I have a great team too. Sean Dozier, my campaign manager. We couldn't have done it without him. I promise you. He is a public relations extraordinaire. We really couldn't have done it without him. And Adrian Kelly, my treasurer. I told the crowd earlier, there's only two people who officially put their names on a campaign: the candidate and the treasurer, and he was willing to do that. Zach Summer helped me with my signs, and we had a lot of people who put up signs. People talk about how many signs we had around town, and a lot of people helped us with that. But there's one person I want to talk about specifically, and that's Hank Pollard. Hank and I, we put up signs all over town together, and we rode around his pickup truck for miles doing that. And I really want to thank him. And so there's numerous people out there that supported me. And I can't thank them enough. I'm truly humbled by this result tonight.
Well, it's going to be time to get to work before long. But before we get to that, we talked earlier about the campaign itself. It's really been an issues-oriented campaign. There's not been personal attacks or anything like that. And I think both you and Bernie would say that you're friends. You had some different ideas. You were opponents here, but well,
it's I've known Bernie for most of my life, and I consider him a friend. We're opponents, and I know that both of us and all the candidates, want what's best for Lebanon, but we have different opinions about how to do that.
But what do you think? There were some things you really pounded on, if I can say it that way. One was the tax increase.
It was
some leadership things, another that you were.
Well, I did talk about the tax increase. I thought 41% was too much, and a lot of people did. as we talked to people throughout the city, a lot of people felt like that was something that should never happen. I really felt like that budget management was something that could be handled better, and I believe that's something that we will handle better. Also, we talked about smart growth. Putting plans in place to make sure that we don't get overwhelmed, because this is still a growing area, and making sure that we get the things here we want. Quality of life is something that a lot of people talked about as we talked with them, and that was more restaurants, more things to do, the amenities that should come with growth that people believe we're not really getting at the moment, and then Lebanon's identity. I grew up here, you did too, and this is a great place, but we have to keep it that way. And I really believe that if we don't put plans in place, we could get overwhelmed and might lose that, and we can't let that happen.
Judge?
All right, that's Rick Bell winning last night, and some of what he had to tell our listening audience at that time. Rick Bell will be the new mayor for Lebanon, defeating the other three in the election yesterday. Kind of recapping here, Fred Burton retains his seat, Ward 2 City Councilman, winning over Lisa Noble and Leon Love. In Mount Juliet, there will be a new mayor. James Manis won overwhelmingly over Dan Walker, of course, both vying for the seat vacated by Ed Haggerty. In Watertown, three people were elected yesterday out of four candidates running for those three seats. Brandy Holcomb, Laura Lee Cromer, and Jim Mahoney will be the representatives, be alderman for the city of Watertown. Mayor Mike Jennings running unopposed. And hopefully that's a good recap of yesterday. We thank you for joining us this morning, and certainly appreciate those who tuned in last night. We had a good night, and our thanks to Judge Barry Tatum for coming out, and of course with MJ and Billy and Susie and Sue Bonetta and the whole team here. So that's going to do it for a Wednesday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Coleman and Company. And until tomorrow, I wish you a wonderful day.